Hi, I'm Brian with Hannon Law Limited, attorney for businesses and creatives. And today I'm back with this trademark series, and we're going into the sixth part. We're really digging into the application now, and so if you haven't watched the previous episodes, you may want to go back, particularly to the very last episode where we talked about the different types of applications, because we're building directly from there. We're going and talking about how do we describe a trademark? Now, there are two elements of this. There is the international class, and then there is the technical description. So we're going to start with the bigger one, which is the international class. And the international class is that big bucket of types of products and services. And so it's an overarching thing. It's let's look at a couple of examples. So for example, class 28 covers toys and sporting goods. It covers so much. It covers, baseball, football, Barbie, Lego, etc. All of that's in that category. Whereas something like class 41 is education and entertainment. So that is all of your online schools. It is your film production studios. It is podcast studios. It's all of these things. These are your big pieces and really where we're going to compare use, right? So we talked about use in the last video. Now we're looking at, are you using it with regard to baseball? And now, when we're talking about baseball, is there a competitor who's using a similar name with regard to that? And it's also the big category for how you get a fee calculated. Your filing fee is based on the international class. If you're both in 28 and 41, for example, toys and events, maybe you're doing a convention where you and other people are selling toys, as an example. You could be paying double the filing fee because you are charged per international class. And so you can kind of see how hard and how easy it is to get into multiple. For example, if you're in metal, you may not be in anything except that. But if you're in a service, it can be very easy to bounce among and between some of these. Now, the second part of the description is the particularities and details. And I called it the technical description, and that's very true because what we're looking at is, okay, you're in class 28 toys and games. You sell things related to baseball, bats, gloves, uniforms, cleats, all of the different things associated with baseball. But you don't sell a board game, perhaps. And so you want to be artful in that description, and as one of my clients called it, it is the most legal description of what you actually do. And so that's going to be a very useful component for you because when we're looking at cancellation, abandonment, all of those kinds of limitations, what we're looking at is, are you specifically doing what you've said you offer? And the more accurate you are with this technical description, the more likely you are to go through. And the more likely you are to survive challenges. Where if you cover everything or you're very broad, it then starts to create the potential for trouble. Now, before we move on and go into some of the other aspects of the application, I want to talk very briefly about what's called the drawing. The drawing of a trademark is very similar to description, except it's the description of what you're filing for. the description of your mark. In this case, it is something like, if I filed for Hannon-Law, the drawing would be Hannon-Law. If I filed my logo, which is a circle with a stylized H, it's the circle with the stylized H. That is the point where you describe any features of the mark, of it's teal, it's a circle, it's got all of these different, the lines are interrupted. All of those things that describe your logo, that describe the actual words, and that kind of a thing. This is really going to be very tied to your actual trademark. You just have to fully describe it, and the easiest ones are going to be your word marks, because all you're providing is the words. Logos or trade dress may be more expansive in that description. With that, next time we're going to go deeper into the database and the application.